Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Resto, and in today's video we're going to be covering the 20 Twink Restoration Druid FC. As per usual, we're going to keep this video short and sweet and to the point. Just like all the other guides and future guides to come, we're going to keep these guides tailored to wargaming, as it's not worth promoting retail in its current state, being a one-shot fest. However, don't worry, if you are still into that degenerate behavior, stand by. I still will include pug information. The stat priority for the Restoration Druid FC is going to be versatility. Heavy on the versatility, nothing but versatility. You really want to make sure you have the most damage mitigation while you're carrying the flag, so no other stat really matters outside of this. The gear that you see on the screen right here is exactly what I wore in the gameplay. When it comes to pugs and the war games, I'm going to include nothing but versatility, including the gems. On the topic of gems, you're looking at the Stormy Deep Home Iolite. This is going to be utilized by both war games and in your pug scene. The only difference between pugs and war games is I would definitely include the Shadowland gems. I would include both the speed and the health replen, and I would prioritize the versatility clusters, as it's only going to be a -1 on the deduction meter when it comes to your gems on scaling. As far as the talents go, this right here is what I am currently running. It's pretty similar to the Restoration Druid build if you guys have watched that guide. The only difference here is I'm focusing more on defensives in my bear form, and I'm also increasing my stamina. And I'm on the right side of the tree for the restoration side. I'm looking to get double the nature swiftness charges, so that way I'm able to either cast an insta-cast root, or maybe I need an insta-cast heal to keep myself afloat. Really, it depends on you and your current situation, but it is there at your leisure. As far as the professions go, you're looking at leatherworking for the leg enchant, inscription for the shoulder enchant, and engineering for the goggles. Obviously, you can't maintain all three professions at once, so the way I would go about it is obviously maining inscription, meaning that you need to hold that for your shoulder enchant, whereas leatherworking, you only need skill level of 1, so I would get the leg enchant that you need, pop it on, take it off, pick up engineering, and then level that up, keeping engineering and inscription as your main two professions. When covering the gameplay for the FC Druid, I'm looking at a lot of different scenarios in terms of routes that you can take to keep yourself safe. Unlike other FC specs, the Druid's biggest advantage is stealth. You want to use that to your advantage in terms of crossing the field, so that way you're not picked out. You really want to make sure that you're going to point A to point B, basically unseen unless you have the flag in your hands. At this point, you now have travel form and bear form to keep damage mitigation up, or travel form to keep you away from other players or to get to your team as fast as possible. When it comes to the Druid, you really have to rely on your team, just because you don't really have a lot on your toolkit. However, being in bear form is one of the greatest defensives across all of the FC specs, and that's what really makes Druid shine the most outside of stealth. One key thing to focus on is just understanding the situation that you're in and reading the room. If you have a lot of enemies, go into bear form and mitigate as much damage as possible, like I've mentioned before. However, if you really don't have that many, when it comes to like 1 or 2 enemies, really understand what your toolkit looks like. Do you have the CDs to put the roots on and get away if you need be? If so, go into travel form, use your nature's swiftness, and go ahead and start peeling off of those enemies off of you and get to your healers as quickly as possible. Start communicating with your team. Communication is absolutely key when it comes to the FC. The biggest thing that I'm really looking at when I first initially grab the flag is, where is my team? Am I able to get to the other side, or at least get to midpoint alive and in a safe one piece? If so, I'm going to go ahead and initiate my first route. Usually I'm looking at the far right sides of the map, as the middle can be kind of tricky depending on the awareness of the other team. Very rarely are you going to be in cat form. You should utilize this as a defensive for 1v1s to help eliminate your target. Otherwise, you're going into travel form to either go and kite or to get to your team, or you're going into bear form to not only help with damage mitigation, like I've mentioned many times already before, but you're also putting out damage as well, because you do want to assist your team in killing the target. You don't just want to be standing there allowing you to soak every single piece of damage like you're a sponge. Something that I see a lot that really you should be doing on any kind of FC, regardless if you're a Druid or not, is just making sure you're moving constantly. You never want to be standing in one place. You always want to make your target work for its food. You don't want to give the target the free kill. Kite, rotate, do whatever it is that you need to do to get away from the enemy target. Remember, you are carrying the flag that can so win the game, and if you drop that flag, not only can you potentially lose the game and put your team behind, but now you got to work for another flag, and you got to go ahead and get it across the map again. So you want to be able to stay alive as long as possible, and by doing a simple kite route, you will succeed flawlessly. Other than that, there really is not much else to explain for the Restoration Druid FC, unlike the Restoration Shaman, Demon Hunter FC, etc. So I am going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, go ahead and drop that in the comment section below, and I will do my absolute best to answer those questions. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you really like to give it a favorite, commenting is free as well as subscribing. It's been Resto, guys. See you guys next time.